I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show we have Tristan Roozendaal, CEO of Centralex Exchange. Tristan, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much, Ashton, for having me on the show. I'm super excited. It's going to be my first interview ever, so let's start it off.
Amazing. Great to hear, and super happy to be hosting you for this first time. I'm very interested in what you and your team at Centralex have been building. Let's go through all things cryptocurrency trading, DeFi, and this huge shift going on with cryptocurrency trading and how we can get the next billion people into crypto. So I would love to kick off our conversation with just a high-level overview from you on what is Centralex and what are some of those main solutions, and then we'll dive into everything crypto.
Sure. So Centralex is a licensed and regulated centralized cryptocurrency exchange with a combination of decentralized finance, housing only the best decentralized applications on our Centralex ecosystem. In short, we are the gateway to the world of DeFi by offering a simple solution for our users to get access to both trading on the centralized exchange, as well as getting exposure to a variety of DeFi protocols. So the vision is to be the bridge between two worlds by providing a unique solution on the market for users to seamlessly benefit from the possibilities offered by an extension getting exposure to newly released DeFi protocols or projects that are often not yet fully available to the mainstream centralized exchanges. We offer, as of today, a spot exchange with 14 different trading pairs, deep liquidity, and a fast matching engine. Our trading platform is accessible through web version and also through our mobile applications that was released earlier this year on both Android and iOS.
Incredible, and definitely coming off to a great start. You mentioned there about DeFi, and I find that there's a major transition going on with cryptocurrency trading and this move from centralized exchanges into DeFi. And I'm curious more on your take on how Centralex will position as getting people into DeFi as well, because there's more technical barriers where it's decentralized and you're supposed to sort of be managing your own keys. A lot of people that are just getting into crypto, that's sort of hard for them. What would you say are some of the main competitive advantages of Centralex solutions over other exchanges in the space?
Sure. So Centralex, as mentioned earlier, is a centralized platform that offers our customers the benefit of trading on a centralized exchange, which allows them to trade on a low maker and taker fees instead of paying those expensive network fees on-chain, as known as network fees, right? So, however, we understand that we are not capable of offering hundreds of tokens on our exchange platform, and that there is a need for customers still being able to trade or access their tokens or investments which are not listed on a centralized exchange platform. That's why we have built a solution for newcomers, but also for the more advanced crypto users to have access to a multitude of DEXs, such as Uniswap and 1inch, just to name a few, but also NFT marketplaces, staking, lending, yield, just to name a few more, right? And this is all accessible through our custodial Centralex solution, which is a simple username and password without the need of installing these complex browser extensions or storing your seed phrases, private keys somewhere on a piece of paper or in the cloud. People forget where they put their keys. People lose paper. Why not just keep things more simplified and go back to Web 2.0? We've learned from Web 2.0 and allow them to access their funds no matter where they are, which device they're using, and having the option to interact with all these fantastic DeFi protocols with a single username and passwords which they are familiarized with. People in the blockchain industry always keep saying, let's onboard the next million to Web3. Why do we have to think so small, right? Is a million really going to make a difference in the DeFi industry? I don't think so. With our solution, we are ready to onboard the next billion to Web3 by just taking a few steps back by making it accessible for my mom, my dad, my uncle, and all the other people who are thinking that Web3 at this moment is too difficult to use.
Incredible, Tristan, and I love that big vision to go even bigger. You need to 10x or 100x improvement.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's just a marginal increase. And you mentioned there about the paper seeds on your desk. It's pretty crazy that that's sort of what the securities of some people is coming down to. I would love to dive into that more as you're talking about this custodial DeFi. Obviously there's a lot of importance on security for the centralized exchanges and in DeFi as well. There's different vulnerabilities that are there. How is Centralex approaching the security for users' funds and information?
Sure. Very good question. So we as an organization think it is very important that we trust, first of all, our tech team that is working for Centralex. So on every single staff member working for Centralex, we do our due diligence. And so all staff members to ensure that we're not just, hiring a black hat hacker or a script kiddie or a developer that just keeps forking projects on GitHub. And this is fact. Right? All our staff members used to work for the banking industry and understand that security needs to be up to spec before we are able to launch a product such as an exchange or a Custo-DeFi solution, because we are managing customers' assets, and these assets needs to be 100% secured at all costs, no matter what. By partnering up with Fireblocks, which is the unicorn under the custodial institutional wallet providers using MPC technology. This results is that we as a company do not hold the customer's private keys, but instead they are sharded throughout the Fireblocks network. So we as an organization holding one part of the key, and Fireblocks is holding the other part of the key. Right? So just in case of a breach, and touch wood, this won't happen, The customer funds are still secured because of the technology our partner is using, but we are going much deeper than just using Fireblocks. We are also partnered with Chainalysis to ensure, or using KYT. So KYT stands for Know Your Transactions, right? So we're doing this to be aligned with future AML regulations, which are happening at the moment in the European Union with all the self-hosted wallets. We have all the key elements ready and aligned with our exchange and custodial system to ensure that the customer's data, and most important, the funds are being secured. We have chosen not to host and manage our own wallet nodes to increase the security level here. At least I know by partnering up with Fireblocks and Chainalysis, I can sleep at night, right? Without having to worry that the customer funds are at risk. And this is a fact. Many exchanges or exchange owners, they are facing the same issues, hosting your own wallets and, storing the private keys from the customers in your wallet nodes. It is a huge security risk. And, by enabling Fireblocks and also activating Chainalysis, it's going to be next level.
That sounds great. And traditionally with DeFi, users are sort of focused on self-custody, but from what I've seen on your guys' page, there's this Custo-DeFi, which I feel like is a solution that there's a huge gap in the market, which could probably be filled with this. And I was also reading into Centralex's asset management. Is that a separate service, or is that sort of what you're talking about with working with Fireblocks, ensuring that the keys are properly stored for users' funds?
Right. So correct. So we're using Fireblocks as a key component, right? So storing and managing your assets are super important, and that storing assets safely are super crucial. So right. So we at Centralex understand that centralized platforms are under some backfire from the industry at the moment, and that's the correct steps needs to get taken to regain this trust. Right. So the self-custodial solution is not meant for everyone. It requires a steep learning curve and to understand how self-custodial works and how to use it. Right. Remember, making a huge mistake using self-custodial wallets are unforgivable, and it is also not allows the blockchain to improve the industry moving forward. Right. So self-custodial, again, is not easy. And I've tried to explain it to a dozen of people, and they just don't get it, right? It's the same like explaining Bitcoin. What's the benefit of Bitcoin, right? Try to explain to them. So self-custodial, yes, true. Self-custodial also brings a lot of risk because they need to store their private keys in a secured way, or need to start using hardware wallets, which is cumbersome to use. I believe that a combination of both worlds, like centralization and decentralization solutions, needs to get created to bring blockchain to the mainstream. As I mentioned, trading is the first topic that comes in mind from users and the public interest, because that's the most visible one. But from an operational point of view, the custodial piece, and by extension on how to keep the tokens and funds safe, is even more important. If you fail, the trust is gone for good, and it's very difficult to regain that part of trust. I also believe that, my keys, my crypto. Please don't get me wrong, right? So I'm also, being in the industry since 2016, where I have my own mining facility with over 250 plus mining machines. So I've been there from the ground up. I understand the industry all too well. And I respect this, right? And I really respect the people who believe with the philosophy, my keys, my crypto. But again, it doesn't onboard the next billion to Web3. It doesn't bring it to mainstream. And, also, there are so many more things in place as an organization to ensure the safety of the customers' funds.
Definitely. And talking about those things in place, I'm guessing that Centralex has to follow along with regulations for the cryptocurrency trading and possibly to be holding the funds. And I'm curious on how Centralex is approaching that and how that working in multiple jurisdictions as well.
Sure. So we at Centralex, where we were licensed from day number one, we're still holding our Estonian crypto license. And right now we expanded our license in multiple jurisdictions. And this means that we agreed to follow a set of rules provided by regulators, which we have to follow and maintain. So we need to show regulators that we have the right KYC and AML policies in place and execute. And they are also being audited and monitored by regulators where we are registered. Right. So also, as we do operate in multiple jurisdictions, we are also aware that of the various requirements that are changing from country to country. We do have the right framework in place to be compliant to these changes and adjustments needed in our KYC and AML process when and if needed. For example, we are a Hong Kong-based company, so we have our headquarters here in Hong Kong. And to do the right thing means we also have to start applying for licenses, right? So we are holding the customer's assets. In that case, we are managing it. We're not using it. We're not lending it out or playing with customers' funds. No, we are just managing it. So we are fully licensed with our Type 1, 4, and 9. So Type 1 stands for dealing in securities. Type 4 stands for advising on securities. And Type 9 means asset management. So allowing us to go beyond simple offering a trading platform, but also providing asset management capabilities to our clients overseen by regulators to ensure that we as an organization are doing the right thing and regain trust in the community, which is super crucial. In short, providing financial recommendations. This is something we can also do. We are following regulations around the world and know for a fact that self-hosted wallets will fall under the AML regulations in the European Union starting from 2023. With our Estonian crypto license, which requires a huge amount of capital. And before, you could buy a license for quite cheap, but right now with the renewals and, with new requirements, it's going to require a huge amount of capital, which we already put on the table. We did this to ensure that we are following the KYC and AML guidelines and providing end user protection. Every license Centralex applied for is currently holding is pure for end user protection and regulatory oversight. We are not just like a bunch of cowboys shooting with blazing guns in the Wild West. Crypto is the Wild West, and it's time to make that change to onboard the next flow of crypto investors.
That's great to hear that you're following along with all the proper regulations, and I think that's a necessity nowadays. And there's so many different jurisdictions that have different rules, and trying to get on onboarding users from those countries as well. You sort of have to be following the regulations of those jurisdictions. How, as you continue to expand Centralex as well, how important is it to find the right jurisdictions to move into next?
That's a very good question. So at this moment, there isn't a right or wrong jurisdiction, right? What matters is to be relevant in the market is that you are operating from the local traders you would like to onboard and be considerate of the local requirements that you need to follow and comply with, right? So again, follow the regulations, no matter where you operate from. Being compliant means that you need to follow the local guidelines and regulations. So the compliance topic is evolving super fast, and it will even keep evolving even faster. Simply speaking, it is a key requirement for all the actors to follow the rules. And the recent issues we have been seeing in the industry in the last couple of months, right? We're looking at 3 Arrows Capital. We're looking at quite a few companies who are falling over right now as we speak, right? Yeah. So the industry will need to go through the stage where bad actors are going to be weeded out and leaving the place for regulated businesses. So the industry has already evolved from not requiring license to require one license acting as a global one to now having relevant licenses in each jurisdiction where you want to operate and onboard the local users from. This is breaking news, actually. The financial and the banking. This isn't breaking news, by the way. The financial and banking industry has been through regulations process for a very long time, and they had to make the required changes in order to operate. Yeah. So it is already when and not if situation when every regulator is going to publish the right playbook. We took the lead on this and haven't waited on this aspect and seek licenses wherever is needed for our expansion, obviously, but also for we want our users to feel safe when they do a trade with Centralex. User protection, and I mentioned it again, is unbelievably important for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm interested to see how, as this transition from centralized exchanges to more DeFi. DeFi is even more so known as the Wild West and not really as regulated as centralized exchanges have to be. So moving into more DeFi on the part of you and your team at Centralex, I'm interested to see how that will work. How do you see the safest approach of sort of incorporating DeFi into exchanges as the next step for growth for crypto trading?
Yeah, so first we have to take a look at mass adoption. So how can we really onboard the next billion or trillion to Web3, right? It is too difficult, as I mentioned earlier, right? But DeFi is indeed a very interesting topic and impacting a lot of financial related businesses. And it goes much further. Mm-hmm. So beyond the technology aspect, it's also the need for the right use case and how does it benefit the users or traders, right? Everybody wants to expand their portfolio. Everybody wants to become the next millionaire on the blockchain, right? So our key product, custodial DeFi, is the answer of this. So we're giving exposure towards the world of DeFi and also benefiting from security of a centralized exchange with regulatory oversight.
And what do you see as some of the main challenges for the DeFi industry that you're looking to sort of tackle as users start expanding their assets into those sections?
So, as you said, the DeFi industry is huge. There are hundreds of decentralized applications, and they're still kicking off every single day with newer projects. And every project, they got their own solution to a problem, right? Problems need to get solved, but how do we bring these solutions to the masses? So we at Centralex thought a very long time how to address this. As mentioned, there are also so many solutions, but very difficult to find, right? So we all know Uniswap, we all know PancakeSwap, we all know OpenSea and wearables and etc. But there are so many different solutions already on the industry, right? So why not just house them under a single platform and become the DeFi aggregation to house all these solutions to all these problems, and that all under a licensed and regulated environment, accessible by a single username and password, right? Going back to Web 2.0. Centralex is the gateway to an ever-expanding world of crypto and digital assets. We have designed Custo-DeFi from scratch. We are our first platform who is going to offer this solution to make this possible in the easiest way, giving the user the possibility to connect your wallet. So we are also looking for the more advanced traders, people who are already familiarized with my keys, my crypto self-hosted wallets, right? So this system will also get integrated into our solution. That means the customer still has to comply with our regulatory framework, still doing the KYC and the AML. They have to whitelist their trade wallet on our centralized platform, right? This is to become compliant with AML regulations in the European Union, for example, right? Mm-hmm. We want to provide an easy experience for the experienced trader, but most important for people who just started their crypto journey.
I completely agree and understand how you need to sort of cater to, there's a lot more people that aren't in crypto than that are, and making your audience, the beginners, I feel is favorable because the audience is so huge. But at the same time, I feel like there's also functionality and for intermediate and advanced traders that can make a better experience if they understand it on the exchange, sort of going like a Coinbase, easy, simple market buy versus having an advanced order book to make more functionality and a better overall user experience for traders.
Correct.
How do you balance the simplicity of making it easy for newcomers with also the functionality of being able to cater to more advanced traders as well?
Sure. Like you said, simplicity is key to success. So how simple you keep your platform, the more successful it can be, right? So technology should be forgotten and not running the show from a user end point of view, right? It means we should remove the technical aspect from the user and simplify the journey into crypto and stop overcomplicating things. The more seamless the experience is, the faster the adoption is going to be and the better the industry will become. And once we figure this out, we can really onboard. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, to onboard the next billion to the blockchain industry and let everyone benefit and expanding their portfolios. We have been spending a lot of time in perfecting the flow, the UI, UX research. We have been spending a tremendous amount of time by doing this, by really taking away the difficult pain points and simplifying the whole process.
And I would love to learn a little bit more about that. Maybe you can talk about what's right now in your team's focus on the development roadmap to grow out the platform to get to that point.
Sure. So let's start at the start. So we are fully licensed and regulated and doing the right thing from the industry to mature. We have a fully functional exchange. This is one of our previous roadmaps. We already finished this, where the customer can onboard easily without too much of a hustle. We have doubled down with our development team, which allows us to build a more robust product with more DeFi offerings as an aggregation. At this moment, we have completed the integration of Uniswap and 1inch, and all the transactions using our Custo-DeFi solution are on-chain. So every single user, after complying with our regulated framework, so KYC and AML, from that point, you are able to create a wallet. Centralex will never touch those funds. All right, this is your funds, your money. We have no interest of touching this. So Centralex also signed up with a few new partners. So we recently went to the Ritosa Family Office event in Monaco, which was fantastic, was amazing. We made a lot of new partnerships. And one of those partners is called Anchor Strategy that helps Centralex making the right investments and strategic planning for the next 12 to 24 months, but also having the Ritosa Family Office on board by helping Centralex making crucial decisions when it comes to raising funds for our future Series A or Series B. So we are hitting different milestones and looking forward to become that one-stop crypto solution where the industry is waiting for.
Incredible, and great to hear about the expanding partners. Now, you mentioned there sort of in the next 6 to 12 months, where do you hope Centralex to be, and is all of this going to be done in the next year?
Oh, we got a huge roadmap ahead. So at this moment, we are upgrading our trade engines. Currently, our trade engines can only run around 150,000 trades per second. So this is not going to be enough for onboarding the next billion to Web3, right? So we are upgrading our system, and we are right now changing our trade engines to 84 million trades per second. And the onboarding flow is going to be going under a huge overhaul to make it even easier to onboard at Centralex. We're looking at a two-step onboard system. We have launched our Custo-DeFi solution, and we already have integrated 1inch and Uniswap. Right. So at this moment, we are looking to integrate PancakeSwap, Curve, SushiSwap, Balancer, and Orca Finance. This is only for the decentralized exchanges. This is the roadmap we're looking for within the 6 to 12 month span. Right. Then we're also looking at staking. We're looking at Lido Finance. We're looking at Anchor staking. We are also looking at lending protocols such as Aave, Compound, Venus. And there's much more, right? Such as yield. We can go to yield finance. We can go to convex finance. And of course, NFTs. Who cannot miss the NFTs? So we are already in the final stages of integrating OpenSea. It will be announced very soon once it's being completed. But also NFTX, Lux Rare, of course, also Magic Eden. That's the roadmap for the upcoming 6 to 12 months. And of course, in the meanwhile, we are also still applying for more licenses. So we also would like to operate fully in the US. We already got our license in the US with MSB, same for Canada. But we also want to do crypto to fiat. So that requires us to apply for an MCL license and much more.
Wow, that's a incredible list of partners. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of that come out in the next 12 months. And I think you hit the nail on the head about getting the on-ramp as well for especially the US and for Canada. It's great to hear that you already have the licenses, but if you're going to be able to onboard the next billion, that you're going to need some fiat on-ramp and not just crypto to crypto. So I'm
100%.
looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. What do you think will be one of the key factors to success over the coming years for Centralex? Will it be the simplicity, or will it be all of these partners and all of the services that you provide?
So there are a few other key factors as well you need to keep in consideration, right? So as a founder and a CEO of Centralex, working from 9 to 5 is not going to make it, right? So I work unbelievable long hours and I sacrifice important things in my life, such as my family. Right now you're sitting in Canada, I'm sitting here in Hong Kong with a huge time zone difference. It's already 10 o'clock in the evening and I'm still sitting in my office and I don't see my work as my work. I really enjoy what I'm doing, right? So the key factors, right? So we need to be relevant and follow market trends such as regulations, but also NFTs. Right now, a new trend, play to earn, so gamification. And most important, listen to the community and never give up and follow your heart and believe what you need to do to make the company successful, to ensure that the end user is able to expand their portfolio and become the next blockchain millionaire.
Amazing, Tristan. And I completely agree with that one statement about listening to the community. They are your customers, and if you just give them what they want, they will stick around. Looking forward to all those updates that you mentioned. Now, for new viewers that want to join the community, learn more about the custodial DeFi and the other trading that's going on live right now, what is the best way for everyone to learn more?
So first of all, just go to centralex.com, right? So this is where you can find all our social media, such as our Twitter, our Instagram, our Telegram, our Discord, and all the other relevant channels, and also find and learn more about the Centralex platform. So we've got a very nice learning platform. You can learn more about what is custody-DeFi, what is compliance, what are our licenses. Just go there, register an account, and make sure to test our custody-DeFi solution.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. I will leave the platform link in the description box below as well, and I'll put the social links there as you mentioned to get people involved in the community. Thank you so much, Tristan, for your insights into custodial DeFi. I'm really looking forward to seeing where Centralex and the industry moves towards in more of growing DeFi. Because I think that there's a lot of growth to happen still, and it's very exciting times, even where we are in the market cycle right now. I feel like this is a pinnacle point for expansive growth. So all the best to you and your team at Centralex on implementing all of this functionality that we've talked about today. I'm looking forward to seeing those next billion users in crypto. Thanks to you guys, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you so much for having me here, Ashton, and hopefully we see each other very soon again.